Back. It's a Money Monday indeed on Liquid Lunch. And when we talk about money and the market's closed, you got to go to the top of the money chain. Bring in the money guest of all money guests. Kimberly Guilfoyle joins us today. Kim, thank you so much for coming down for a Liquid Lunch with us.
Great to be with you.
Kim was recently named the national chair of the Trump Victory Campaign Finance Committee, which is wonderful. You're also the significant other of Donald Trump Jr., who many say may be the next president whenever this Donald Trump is done.
See about that.
Going on. I mean, you've been on all levels of government, all levels of media. I've never seen a president come under attack like this before, and still he gets so much done.
Yeah, unbelievable. They have just been merciless in terms of their personal attacks on the president. We see this now with the sham articles of impeachment because these people are a bunch of crybabies that didn't like the result of the 2016 election. They want a do-over. They want a mulligan. So they have literally stopped at nothing to be able to try to unseat a duly elected president of the United States. And it is shameful. And this whole thing has been led by Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi and Brian Chuck, and the cast of characters goes on and on. But the fact remains that they have no evidence, number one. And number two, these are improper grounds to try to impeach a president of the United States. They lack any constitutional authority. The abuse of power and obstruction of justice, that is totally improper. And Alan Dershowitz and a bunch of other legal experts have already opined on this. But nevertheless, they tried to persist to go forward with this. And it's going to go nowhere. He's not going to be convicted in the Senate. And the bottom line is it's a waste to the American people, the taxpayers' money, because this is a very productive president who has done incredible things for the forgotten men and women of this country. And what they are doing in Congress is a travesty.
So let me ask you this. While the Democrats think, I don't even know what their end game is here, but they think this is somehow helping them. It's really helping you. You're running the campaign finance. This has got to solidify the base. This is probably helping with fundraising.
It's incredible. We saw last year just a huge jump in the numbers when they started this nonsense. People are so disgusted and tired of it because this is a person who's made, promises kept, and exceeded, in fact. So as soon as they started this, we saw a big jump, and we're already doing very well in terms of our fundraising for the president. And we raised last year was $463 million. We have about $200 million on hand right now, and we're looking to do another $500 million to get it to $1 billion in terms of fundraising. And here's what's remarkable: the record number of women that have come forward giving money to this president, far more than you saw with the Democrat candidates. And that's one of the big lies and frauds that they've perpetuated in the press and the fake news media, that women don't support this president. In fact, women have never done better, have never been more economically emancipated and empowered than under President Trump. Record low unemployment numbers for women, and for single mothers getting back into the workforce and being able to provide for their families and for their children. And now we see more and more people stepping forward. People who have a little more discretionary pocket money change, in their pocketbooks, in their wallets, to be able to donate to the president. So we people have payment plans, okay? $5 a month. They want to make sure that they have skin in the game. Those are people that are going to show up and vote for the president on Election Day. And the Democrats and the liberals are in for a rude awakening.
So now I want to ask you something. I know the president doesn't drink, right? He doesn't drink alcohol. But you see this pen? You know how many Trump items I have here?
I see.
Okay.
Open up shop
There's
here?
not one. Look at that picture over there behind the scenes. Your book is over there.
I mean, everyone must know what to get you for Christmas, right?
You got to check out Making the Case, which was Kim's book that she wrote a couple years back. We got one on set here. But there's no other show on television, there's no other network on television that is 100% behind the president like Newsmax. I'm telling you, every day, Frankie and I, a lot of the shows on Newsmax, we are just trying to kill all these fake fallacies and stuff. Can you tell the boss man? Can you tell the boss man to check us out once in a while?
No, by the way,
I'm waving around the pen every day.
The president watches Newsmax. He loves it. He's quite often, with Chris Reddy. We saw him down there at Mar-a-Lago. I was right there when he told Chris, "Hey, you guys are doing a good job." Listen, I think what's important is that you actually are unafraid in showing the true facts, the real news, talking about the accomplishments of the president. And guess what? Good for you, because 93% of the coverage of the president in the mainstream media is negative. That's a Pew Research poll. And they are totally complicit in trying to perpetuate the false narrative that the liberals and the Democrats put forward. They're the marketing wing, essentially of the DNC.
It's amazing that
unpaid volunteers
the
in that
left-wing media comes out and spews out all this garbage, right? And then they actually, the congressmen and the senators on the left, they use that as source data. So they create the fake news on the news channels, and then they use it. Oh, well, it was reported here. It's a
vicious
big cycle of fake.
Yeah, it's a big cycle of fake news. And, it's like Groundhog Day. You wake up every day, hit the alarm, you're like, okay, here we go again with the nonsense.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's the impeachment because they flat out say they can't beat him in the ballot box in 2020. So they're trying to take him out now. I mean, Nancy Pelosi has said as much.
When I wake up in the morning, I get up about 6 o'clock, I put on Morning Joke. I call it Morning Joke with a K, right? Because the whole show is a joke, if you ask me. But I watch it just to get in my head what their talking points they all say this. Once you see it at 6 o'clock what they're saying on MSNBC, that's the talking point for all the networks. And that gets me motivated to, go fight against them.
No, I hear you. Go ahead and listen to what the other side is saying and, pay attention to where they're trying to, shape shift next.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. What can our audience do to show support for the president? You just were named the campaign finance chair, the Victory Finance Committee. What can our audience do? Is it right down to like $5 means something, right?
Well, it really does mean something. Think about it. When somebody is actually working very hard and they now have more economic power to choose what they can do, okay, with their money, right? Just like they can choose who they watch. If they say, I want to contribute $5 to the President of the United States because I believe in him, because for the first time I feel engaged and listened to and involved in the political process. And I have someone who actually is trying to make a difference for my family, whether it's job acts, tax cuts, USMCA, everything that the president has been able to do, despite the impeachment and the fake news and the personal attacks against him and his family. I mean, they could be doing anything else, but they choose to literally be there on the front lines fighting every day because America is worth it. The country is worth it. And the president is not going to give up. And I'll tell you, I've never seen him more energized or happier. So bad news for them.
Yeah, I mean,
fasten your seatbelt.
I look at it, I mean, I've been working hard. My dad was a cop. My mom was a business person. I've been trained to work hard my whole life. I see, like, you want your kids to grow up to be like Donald Trump's kids because they're all amazing, hardworking people and everything else. I've never seen someone work so hard with the weight of the whole media and the world on his back. What if they left him alone for a few days? Imagine what he could accomplish.
Yeah, listen, he's incredible, and he has so many other things that he wants to do. He's a problem solver. He's a businessman. He's somebody who has actually signed the front of a paycheck, creating jobs versus the back. The other ones in the predecessor, Obama, community organizer, rough day, was getting a few paper cuts, hanging out the the pamphlets, right? But this is somebody who actually understands dollars and cents and has put more power and punch back into the American dollar, and I'm really looking forward to it. Over 7 million jobs created, and he's just getting started.
The other stat that I think is amazing is under George Bush, 2 terms, household incomes were up $800 over 8 years. Under Barack Obama, household incomes were up $1,100 over 8 years. Under Donald Trump, in 3 years, household incomes are up $5,000.
Can you imagine?
It's amazing. You don't hear this reported, but people got more money in their pockets. They're going out, they're spending. Businesses, getting rid of the regulation, businesses are going out and they're reinvesting that cash. They're building a new factory. They're buying a new piece of equipment.
You're absolutely
right. All this stuff has these collateral effects. For what he said to me mainly was jobs.
He understands that. He understands what makes the cycle work. And look at what he's then been able to do with infrastructure, manufacturing across this country, cutting 2 regulations for every new one that's put in. He's actually taken the foot off of American companies and businesses off of their throat and actually let them thrive and give them the resources that they need to be able to succeed. He understands free market and capitalism. It's that basic because under President Trump, America's never going to be a socialist country.
Yeah, but apparently the left can't even decide which socialist they want at this point.
They're confused. Sanders, Warren, the whole rest of them.
America was founded on capitalism.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it works.
Family, capitalism. It works. Every socialism experiment in history has been a failure.
It's very sad what they've done to a country that was once thriving. And
I got so much more. Can you hang out with us for a few more minutes? We're going to take a quick commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You got to stay right there. Fix yourself up a cold drink. Sit back and relax. We're going to come back with more Kimberly Guilfoyle right after this. You're watching Liquid Lunch.